Hi, this is Nick Dixon with Nedco Sports. Today I want to cover 4 important tips for our hurricane hitting machine owners that will help you get better use out of your machine. It will help you transport your machine easier, and it's going to also help you make adjustments quicker and safer. First thing I want to talk about are power bands. This unit is designed, it's a Cat 4 Derek Jeter hurricane machine, and it's designed to take up to 4 power bands, and that would be your maximum speed setting. But at 4 power bands, that's really, in my book, that's overdoing it. So most of the time, for practical use, 2 power bands are adequate for all ages, because the machine is designed to where the faster the bat speed or power of the hitter, the faster the ball is going to return. Because the harder you hit it, the farther it wraps, and the more speed it's going to pick up on the return. So you can use 2 to 4. You reduce power bands or take power bands off to reduce speed, add power bands to add speed. Another important point about the power bands, of course, the rubber sleeve goes up, and this part right here protects, or this rubber sleeve protects this power bungee cord as it wraps around the axle or the support column. But the most important thing that you must understand as a hurricane machine owner is this is a wrapping and unwrapping motion or action. And what I mean by that is that when this machine wraps, or when you make contact with the ball, that ball is going to go around that machine 2 to 3 times, depending on how old or how powerful you are. And that is a wrap, okay? And what happens is the ball is hit, the power bands take over, slow the ball down, stop the ball, and then pull the ball back to the user. They absorb the energy and then return the ball. But if you do not allow these power bands to unwrap between contacts and you just continue to hit the ball every time it approaches you, then you're going to continue to wrap these power bands till they stress and break. These power bands should last a year or 2, as long as you always remember that if you hit it and it wraps 3 times, you need to let it come by 2 or 3 times before you hit it again. You've got to always let it unwrap between impacts or swings to extend the life of your power band. Overstressing it, overwrapping, it's going to break them every time. Another important point is adjusting the height of your machine. This machine, always take your power bands off before you adjust the height. And you adjust your height with your height adjustment knob, but you want to take your power bands off, because if you leave your power bands on, there's tension on this, and when you undo the axle, it's going to jerk that unit down. So taking the power bands off allows you to always hold it out here and not by the axle, because it's got grease on it, and you also may open yourself to a pinch there if that came down fast. So you always grab it by the height adjustment knob and out here to raise and lower the height. And what you do is you just pick the chosen height and tighten the knob, and there it is. Now, this brings me to a very important part of this assembly process, and something that you must remember as a hurricane machine owner. Over the years, I've had a lot of people, they would feedback, and several times a year, someone would send me a feedback and say, my knobs are getting entangled in my power band cords. And they would always say, there's a flaw in this design. Well, let me assure you that there's no flaw in this design as long as you always put your 2 knobs right here over each other. Always allow or align the top component knob perfectly straight over your height adjustment knob. When they're on the same side and over each other, when that machine is hit, that's going to allow those 2 knobs to rotate out in front of your power bands, and your power bands will never become entangled in the knobs. So that should never happen as long as you assemble your machine correctly, and that's covered in your owner's manual. Last point I want to point out, tip number 4. It's related to transporting your machine. This machine, I designed it to carry from practices to home, to use in your backyard, take it to a team workout, indoor workout, or whatever. It's designed to be portable. That's why it comes apart so quickly and assembles so easily. But one of the key things you need to always remember as a new owner is that once you assemble this machine and you've installed that axle into that machine, don't ever take it out again. Leave it in there from now on. when you transport it, you saw how I took the top component off and I grabbed the axle and I lowered it to about 2 inches or an inch above that height adjustment knob and locked it. What that does is a couple things. One, it keeps the axle in the support column, and that prevents grease from coming off the axle and getting into your bag. And it also will allow you to have something to grab onto and to catch and pull up when you get ready to assemble your machine again. If you take the height adjustment knob off and put it in here and then lower your axle all the way down into your support column, you're going to have to fish it out, and it's hard to do. So whenever you transport it, just lower it down to about 1 inch, lock it into place, and that's how it travels, and that's where it stays when the machine's not in use, if it's disassembled and packed away. This machine, it comes with the bag, and I would, even though I've given you these 4 tips, make sure that you always read your owner's manual and follow the tips, and look at the drills that are included in there, and make sure you read the 20 and relate or refer to the 20-minute workout, because that's a great workout for developing bat speed and power. Again, this is Nick Dixon with Nedco Sports. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Thanks, and have a great day.